So it's been a few weeks already when I made a video called Men Moving Right, and guys, I want to hear you out. Basically, it was a video that was targeting men, those who are feeling lonely or those who are having trouble with certain things regarding their party, or I don't know, I'm just gonna be yapping away. But the whole premise of the video was to hear people out, men specifically, guys specifically, boys or whatever. If you're a dude, I wanted to hear from you, that's all. Because this was basically a video that I wanted to do because Trump won, and there was like this huge amount of people, but not just people, but a lot of men that voted for Trump. Obviously, because of course Kamala Harris was definitely catering mostly towards women, whereas Trump was just talking about a lot of things, and most of it I didn't even understand, but a lot of it really did come off as non-establishment, and that was, well, something that a lot of people liked, because nobody wants to, you know, vote for a corporate candidate. Even if Donald Trump is a billionaire himself, or so he may be. Basically the whole election, everything that happened makes sense. Looking, you know, from an outsider's perspective, looking in, I get it. I understand why he won, and basically I just want to see what I could do in terms of listening, and hopefully in the future get those people who, well, not people, but men who felt discouraged and pushed away from the Democratic Party to not so much come back to the Democratic Party, because I'm not really gonna be a Democrat anymore. If anything, I'm gonna be independent. It's more so just hearing the other side, or hearing not so much just the other side, but just people on all sides. And so that way I could get a better understanding of what we're struggling with, who we are as a country, and just who we are as people. And I really wanted to take that time to just see if we could all come to an agreement, have some common ground. You know, I get it, like a lot of social issues and DEI stuff and whatnot, like all these buzzwords, right? You know, that are sort of plaguing the gaming industry, and, you know, really interfering with people's lives, where people in general just really want a place to stay, food in their bellies, not stress over, you know, oh my god, am I gonna make my next payment? You know, am I gonna make rent? That's really it. I'm really making this video not to discuss that specifically again, but just to read out these comments from that video, so that way, you know, I could show you I'm listening, I'm reading. Even though it's been a couple weeks already, I kind of did wish and hope for more people, men, guys, commented. Given the fact of what I have here, it's okay. It's enough to me for me to go off of anyways. So WildGamer2205 says, I'm a first-time voter, and I voted because simply I don't want to end up dead in a foxhole somewhere in Eastern Europe, because in my own opinion, the left hasn't done enough to try to prevent World War III. 2. The left has belittled people like me for what I feel like practically no reason. 3. Prices, while yes, I do think going green is good, we have to do it slowly, because too much change in so little time will create a lot of problems very quickly, as the case with Eastern European countries in the 70s and 80s as a result of their rapid mass industrialization in the 50s, and in our case, prices have gone up. Yeah, I guess you do have some pretty good points there, but when it comes to World War III, I kind of have my doubts that World War III could happen, but then again, I could be wrong, you know, and that's something I wish to happen. I don't think anybody wishes for that to happen. Maybe World War III would have a lot of cyber warfare going on, like it has been going on for like last 10 years, I should say. Cyber warfare, cyber crime, and things of that nature has already been a thing. But when it comes to World War III, like an actual combat, well, sure, we may be pretty close, but I don't think we're that close. We do have wars, like, you know, that we're kind of involved in, not directly involved in, but pseudo-involved in, like the whole Russia-Ukraine war that's going on, or the genocide of Gaza, the genocide of Palestinians, thanks to Israel. Whereas, you know, us Americans, or at least the United States itself, government. Israel is basically the lapdog of the United States. You know, we tell Israel what to do, they do it. We tell them to stop. We could have them stop, but we just choose not to. So I guess in a way that is a war that we're involved in. Or at least a conflict, I should say. So whether you agree with me or not, it is a genocide that's happening over there. I don't like it. I don't think a lot of people like it. And could that be a turning point for World War III? I hope not. I'm not gonna put my money on World War III happening anytime soon. But that's just me. I could be naive. As for the left belittling people, you are definitely right. The left has definitely belittled a lot of people. Men included, especially men, because, you know, they're not, well, I guess I could go and think about the whole Bernie Bros thing, you know? You remember how Bernie Bros was a thing when Bernie Sanders was running for president? And he wasn't even literally running for, well, he was running for president, but mainly he was just, running in the primary, the Democratic primary. And everybody who was a liberal in the Democrats side was definitely, you know, going against them. They were even calling him misogynist or sexist and all this other negative things. That was pretty much blanket statement on men and men in general. So yeah, I mean, sure, there are some men that are pretty bad, that are pretty toxic. Same thing with women. Some women could be pretty bad. Some women could be pretty toxic. But I think it's wrong to blanket statement, you know, people. So yeah, not all men are bad. Not all women are bad. And a lot of people who, you know, the whole Bernie Bro movement, they were good people. They were, you know, awesome men that stood up and wanted change and they wanted progressive ideals. And I could guarantee you, a lot of men that voted for Trump still have progressive policies that they want to implement, you know, like a higher minimum wage, you know, a living wage. That way you don't have to worry about you know, bills being paid late. You could pay your bills on time, or having food on the table, or having shelter, you know. Even if you have a family, you don't have to be stuck living with your parents. You could own a home. Imagine being a homeowner. So I get it, you know. I think it's more of a problem of not so much progressives, and it's more of a problem with people who are on the far left that are just screeching at, you know, people being pure, whereas, you know, everybody has some kind of flaw. Yeah, people that are from the left need to tone it down a little bit, in my opinion. And if I get flack for this, I get flack from it. It's whatever, it's fine. But when it comes to rapid change and rapid movements, and I don't really know much about what happened during the industrialization in European countries. I believe that's what you said. And you said that was during the 50s. Well, I guess there's some validity to that, but the thing is, the reason why there's high prices is because multi-billion-dollar corporations take advantage of people, especially during when times are tough, like COVID. So when COVID happened, a lot of resources were starting to become scarce because it really caused an imbalance in the way our system works, our system of goods, you know, when it comes to shipping goods and consumerism. So we couldn't really buy so much things because there weren't that many things around and there was a lot of scarcity, you know, like the whole fucking toilet paper bullshit that happened. But yeah, like, I'm sure you do have some points and I hear you, but in my opinion, the reason why there's always going to be change is going to happen, and it's always going to happen quick, fast, and it's happening even faster now than it was 10 to 15 years ago. And now, with the way that things are going in US politics, things are forever changing so rapidly. It's almost impossible to put a stop to that. And when it comes to prices going up, that's just, in my opinion, companies taking advantage of people's desperations. That's really it. Prices will go up. They will always go up. There has to be a moment where they have to come down, you know, during a crash or something in the stock market. Stocks go up. It's really, in my opinion, just multi-billion-dollar corporations taking advantage of people. Indonius, I don't know if I pronounced her name right. Treating masculinity as something toxic made me vote for the right. Why should I vote for those who see me as a threat to society? I'm not against people like you. I believe both sides have those who mask themselves to be bad, left with pedos, right with fascists, and I'm glad that we still have those who can see eye to eye. Interesting. So I could answer your first question definitely. And I guess the whole conversation around that would be, okay, well, what is masculinity, right? You know, what do we define that as? Is it, you know, something that could be toxic, or is it something that could be healthy? That's a conversation later down the road that we could definitely have. I guess in my opinion, the definition of masculinity could just definitely be something that I have to give a little bit more thought of, but just to really come to a conclusion off of the top of my head, it would be treating others with respect, you know, having some kind of chivalry, or, you know, being able to help those in need when they need it the most. I guess that's, in my way, definition of masculinity, helping others when they need it, being respectful, you know, not being toxic in a way where, you know, you're being mean or hurtful or pushing down others, you know, punching up, never punching down. I guess those would be my definitions of what masculinity would be. Being a defender for others that need it, you know, being a voice of reason, stoicism, being stoic, but also at the same time letting other people know, you know, that it's okay to be vulnerable, you know, showing a little bit of vulnerability without being, you know, a bit of a dick. And I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying, you know, that's what I think masculinity should be or could be. But again, we could always have a discussion about what, you know, the term masculinity could be. Yes, long-time Bernie bro, father voted for Bernie too. This was kinda an obvious result, even if we didn't want it. Remember, up until a few months ago, we were running an undead corpse. Joe Biden was a fucking corpse, yes he was. The prices have gone up almost everything the last few years. Tricolor layouts have been going on for a few years for now. We knew this was probably a tough election to win. As far as other young men are concerned, I could tell something was different as many of my male friends started mentioning how they were anti-Biden. These were usually apolitical people. Mostly they were mad about the economy, and they were somewhat misogynist at times. I honestly think it was the bad economics, lack of messaging from the Democrats on how to fix it that won them over to Trump. Yeah, so the Democrats are never gonna take Bernie's side because they're very much corporate, you know? It's like going up against Arasaka in, you know, Fallout 2077. You think Arasaka has your back? You really think the Democrats who are bought and paid for by billionaires have your back? No man, they just want your money. That's why the whole Bernie bro movement was fucking awesome, but of course, a lot of people who were liberal just crushed it. They crushed a lot of spirits. Crushed a lot of, you know, men's spirits who actually wanted this kind of hope and change. This was never a gender thing. This was never a gender thing. It was always a class thing. Always class warfare. You know what I mean? As silly as that sounds. It's a class, so they versus them, the multi-billionaires. The rich versus the poor. And there's more of us than there are of them, but they have a lot of power because money is power. But I think as a nation or as people, we really do need to shift our minds from. But I really do think as a nation or as people, we do need to shift our minds in a way where we think money isn't everything. It's really the people who are surrounding you is what matters. It's the people you are with, connections, your family, your friends. That's really it. So you could definitely have both. You know, you could have some money to have a comfortable lifestyle and have good friends and good family. You know, that's what I think it all should entail. So yeah, definitely. If the Democrats even give a shit and want to win over those who they pushed away, talk about the money, talk about the economics, talk about how people are struggling. That's how you win them over. And don't force down all this social justice warrior crap down their throats. Breadman44, why is this in my recommended like the only thing I have in common with this guy is I'm a dude. I don't even live in America. So why are you commenting on my video? But either way, thank you, I appreciate it because it does help the algorithm. Trollzord. There's an ongoing male loneliness epidemic going on in the US, where if men complain about their problems they get shut down and told to grow up. With women doing the same thing, they could get coddled and get praised for it. I understand. Yeah, so I have been hearing a lot about the male loneliness epidemic that's going on in this country. And I do understand, you know, when men bitch and moan, they get told, stop bitching and moaning. But you know what? I think we do need to shift our mindset and be a little bit more open-minded. to allow ourselves and men in general to be vulnerable and to not say, to not silence them or to not be silenced and just not be told to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. It's okay to feel sad or to feel tired or to feel like, man, I don't got another one in me anymore. I can't do it anymore. Tired. Need help. And it's good to ask for help. It's not weak to ask for help. And yeah, I mean, I could definitely make a video about that, to be a little bit more open-minded and vulnerable and to not be seen as lame or gay or feminine or whatever negative connotations you want to put that in as in, being vulnerable. It's not weak. That's all it is. It's not weak to be vulnerable. It's not weak to say, no, I'm not having a good day. I need some time for myself, or I need my family with me, or yeah, sure, you may need a partner, but we all want a partner, or we all want a shoulder to lean on, or a person to hug, to be told that everything's gonna be okay. And I hope to be that person, for you. And hopefully over time, I at least could do my part, even if I'm just like a furry femboy on the internet, to at least bridge the gap, close the male loneliness epidemic, make it not so much an epidemic. Pardon. The problem with Bernie Sanders is he sold out and endorsed Hillary Clinton. He threw his base under the bus for more money. If he stuck his guns, he would have had a fair shot the next time around. He would have had more respect as well. RFK Jr. would have been a valuable candidate. They chose not to endorse him either. And Trump isn't really a Republican either. If anything, he is more liberal. The left just has gone so far left to the left and everything looks right-wing to them. I remember working when Trump was president. I got a huge raise because of the tax cuts. I actually had more money in my pocket. Now I have 2 jobs. I make double what I used to. And I can barely afford my bills and groceries. So if Trump worked for you, like it all worked out for you, good. I'm happy. And that's what I want. I want at least somebody to work out and to do well, to do what is right for the American people, to put more money in their pockets, and let me just go by this, one at a time. So the problem with Bernie Sanders is not so much that he endorsed Hillary Clinton, he was just trying to be a key player in the Democratic Party that hated him. And I do agree with you, he should have stuck to his guns and said, no, I am not going to endorse Hillary Clinton because she is simply just a bad candidate. I'll tell you this much, as a person who was a Democrat and is going independent, I voted for Bernie Sanders to be the Democratic nominee, to be, running for the presidency. But when the presidency came around to vote, when we had to vote for the presidency, during that time, I did vote for Hillary Clinton. That I regret that vote. I really do regret it because I was at the mindset of, you know what? Trump's a big boogeyman. He's the bad guy. Vote blue no matter who. Now, with a different mindset, and this is the thing about American politics that a lot of liberals don't understand. Politicians do not deserve anybody's vote. They don't. No matter who you are, even if it's Trump or Bernie, they don't deserve anybody's vote. You're supposed to earn your votes. That's the beauty of American politics. You're supposed to earn your votes. If they don't earn it, then I guess don't vote, as crazy as that sounds. Or vote for the person that, aligns with you more, even if it goes against some of your morals, or even if it goes against your party. And I get it, I really do get it. As much as I liked Kamala Harris to have won, she didn't, for good reason. She wasn't really speaking to the voters because she was so dead set on a specific demographic, women. Well, I do care about women's reproductive rights. There's one thing that people are struggling more unanimously, and that's their income. That's living their life in a way where they can, not burdened by debt. So they could pay off their bills and actually have a fighting chance to afford a life. So about RFK Jr., I really have to disagree with you on that because I don't like him. Not just because, for aesthetic purposes or for wish-washy stuff, as in like the way he talks or who he's aligned with when it comes to Trump. I don't like him because I don't like him because he doesn't really trust scientists. He says a lot of things confidently that in my opinion are wrong. Now, I can make a video about RFK Jr. I just have to do a lot more research than what I know now. So I can't really fully give you a full explanation as to why I don't like him. I'll make a video about him in the future if that's what you want. But yeah, those are mainly some of the top comments I wanted to just talk about, or at least to get through some of them. But I am reading every single one of them, and I do appreciate all the comments that you guys have been leaving. Maybe they might not be totally in my favor, and that's fine. It's not supposed to be. It's meant to be something for me to hear you out, and I'm actually learning a lot, and I do find that there are some things that we do have in common. So yeah, that's all I wanted to do, is just to look at some of your comments and to respond to some of them, and to have a dialogue, you know, a conversation about this. I do have more videos in the future, so be sure to like and subscribe this video. And yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Alright, take care.